In 1966, Sir Jack Brabham became the only driver to become world champion in a car of his own make. So how did he achieve this incredible feat? In today's video, we're discussing the ingenious engine call that was responsible for the Australian racer's third world championship, as well as some more related news. Let's drive in. Get it? First up, the 40-year-old underdog. Going into the 1966 Dutch GP, Jack had been the subject of quite a few old man jokes. Almost everyone thought he was past his best. After all, the 40-year-old racer hadn't won a points-paying GP in 6 years. In response to the wisecracks about his age, Jack hobbled onto the starting grid with a fake beard and a walking stick. He was driving the self-built Brabham BT19. Ahead of the 1966 season, the FIA doubled the limits on engine capacity to 3 liters. While most of his rivals opted for a 12-cylinder engine, Brabham decided to go with the lighter but more reliable V8. The 154-kilogram engine produced only 300 brake horsepower, compared to the 330 to 360 brake horsepower of its main competitors. But Brabham calculated it could achieve 7 miles per gallon, compared to only 4 for its more exotic rivals. This courageous and brilliant call proved to be a fantastic decision, as the Aussie would soon toss aside his beard and cane and win the race with ease. He would also go on to win in France, Britain, and even in Germany on the super difficult Nürburgring. He called the victory in Germany the most satisfying win of his entire career. Thus, in 1966, Sir Jack Brabham became the world champion for the 3rd time in his illustrious career. This would mark the first and only time in F1 history that the winning car would bear its driver's name. Next, Brabham's decision showed rare insight. Jack's shrewd decision would go on to become a legend of its own. To this day, stories are told of the 40-year-old racer opting for a much weaker engine and ending up getting rewarded for it. He proved that stronger doesn't always mean better. He proved that he possessed the one thing that separates the greats from decent sportsmen: vision. Infamous motorsport journalist Doug Nye said that the success of BT19 in 1966 was a testament to Jack's super smart decision of choosing V8 control over V12 grunt. He also said that it took rare insight and understanding, spotting an opportunity there, and Brabham had both. Doug added that the B19 could score on weight over the more powerful Ferrari, BRM, Cooper Maserati, and Honda. And Doug is completely right. Jack had anticipated the problems his rivals would face in the first year of the new rules and was very cautious of being overzealous. He saw something no one else at that time could: the importance of reliability. He had commissioned the Australian Repco company to design an engine that wasn't overly ambitious, but very dependable. He used an Oldsmobile unit as a template, anticipating rival teams' struggles with reliability in the first year of the new rules. Jack was spot on. Ferrari struggled all season. Lotus simply didn't have a suitable engine ready, and Jack won his legacy-cementing 3rd world championship. We gotta say, this is one of the coolest things any sportsman has ever done. And now for Jack's do-it-yourself approach. With this historic victory, Jack proved that because he was involved in the construction of his vehicle, he possessed a unique advantage over all his rivals. He could modify it according to his style and get creative with his decisions instead of leaving it all to the engineers. He could make decisions that no one else would even imagine making. He also proved that him being older didn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, as he could use his experience to one-up all his younger rivals. What a man. Jack's do-it-yourself mindset was also evident in the way he approached his race starts. The Hewland gearbox he used in 1966 wasn't designed to handle the powerful initial acceleration of the new 3-liter engine. He was known for his gentle race starts, opting to save the gearbox and make up time during the race. There was no shortage of critics calling him old and slow, but with this incredible run in 1966, he showed everyone that he possessed one of the sharpest minds in the sport. Jack was a superb mechanic and a true student of racing cars, all of which helped him become the only person to produce a reliable 3-liter engine that season. The legend essentially stole the championship that year. Next, we have Jack's love affair with the car. Only one Brabham BT19, or the Old Nail, was ever built. Jack loved the ride and continued to speak very highly of it until his death in 2014. In 2004, a 76-year-old Jack jumped in the cockpit of the preserved BT19 at a race meeting. He praised it and said that it has been a wonderful car over the years and it's been very well looked after. He also said that it was a huge pleasure to come and drive it, and that this is something he will never ever get tired of. And why would he? It's one of the most iconic cars ever and is going to be a huge part of racing history forever. Because of increasing car complexity, it's highly unlikely that anyone's going to break his record of being the only player to win the world championship in a car of his own construction. The BT19 and its legendary driver will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, Jack Brabham. We're sure you're up there designing a sick new ride for the Angels. And that's all about the Astute engine call behind Jack Brabham's unique F1 feat. Now it's time to move on to some more related news. Starting with Lewis Hamilton explains why he'll never drive for Ferrari. For many fans, Lewis Hamilton is the greatest racer ever, and understandably so. The 37-year-old British racer has won a joint record 7 World Drivers' Championship titles. He also holds the record for most wins and pole positions in the history of the competition. Hamilton has been driving a Mercedes engine his entire career, and it looks like that's never going to change. In conversation with Corriere della Sera, he revealed that he's a huge fan of Ferrari, and he'll actually cheer for Charles Leclerc instead of Max Verstappen. Despite this, he said that he'll never drive for Ferrari. He said that Mercedes is his family, and he'll always be a Mercedes driver, just like Sterling Moss. Isn't that really nice to hear? In a time where almost every sportsman plays for money and fame, this kind of devotion is really rare. However, we wouldn't expect anything less from the man who literally has loyalty tattooed on his arm. In the past, he's also said that he'll continue to work for Mercedes after retirement, and that he wants to help the industry become more diverse. And now, Max Verstappen has other plans. Unlike Hamilton, Max Verstappen has said that he'll walk away from Formula One the second his driving career ends. In an interview with Dutch magazine Formule 1, the 24-year-old world champion said that he won't return to Formula One in any capacity after his retirement. In no uncertain terms, he said that he has no interest in returning in a team or as an analyst. He explained by saying that he has no motivation for doing that, and if he doesn't drive anymore, he wants to do other fun things. Verstappen added that it'll be good to step away from the sport for a while, since his entire life revolves around racing and Formula One at the moment. At some time, he'll be done with that and will be looking to do something else. The Red Bull driver has previously hinted at walking away from the sport once his mega contract with the team expires at the end of 2028, at which point he'll be 31 years old. We gotta say, we're all big fans of Max here, and we really hope that isn't true. 2028 is too soon. We want to see him race for the next 15 years at the very least. Lastly, pressure building on Mick Schumacher. 23-year-old Mick Schumacher has the car to display his potential, but unfortunately he's been unable to score any points this season and has suffered 2 major crashes as well. Deservedly so, the young German driver has been facing a lot of criticism. Most recently, 2-time World Rally champion Walter Röhrl told a German magazine that Mick could become a victim of cold and bitter Formula One. He said that he's been having a lot of accidents at the moment, all of which have cost a lot of money. He added that this will obviously not go on indefinitely. Röhrl also believes that one of the reasons Mick hasn't been able to perform is because of carrying the Schumacher name. His father is one of the biggest superstars in the entire world, and fans expect the same from his son. He also said that it looks like Mick isn't as talented as his father, and that it's going to be quite difficult for him to survive in the competition. Hey Mick, maybe it's time to ask your dad for a little advice. We're sure the Formula One GOAT can help you out. That's a wrap for this video. So what are your thoughts on Jack Brabham's exceptional Formula One feat? Please let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.